Green dawn light, a jungle lullaby raising with the herds. Mark and Marie taught mercy, muddy boots and careful words. A fever's bite, a desperate cure, a miracle with a cost. The color stayed, the boy remained, the old fear almost lost. First quicksilver blur, gazelle legs spring through the scrub. He laughed back home with leaves and hair and dust along his cuffs. They drew new maps for safe and now. And what if he turned small, while cat eyes blinked from shadowed grass and answered nature's call? Then rain unzipped the sky, the river chewed the road to stone. He learned how silence sounds when two bright lanterns never come home. Gotham's winter bid, his godfather pulled him from the cold. He learned the team's hand signs and how to keep a steady hold. He made the room feel lighter, chalk jokes across the ache. He kept the punchlines loaded for the moments hearts might break. They called for younger heroes, he answered with a grin. A wild heart at the window tapping, alright, let's begin. He hears a drum beneath the city, under steel and heat. It is older than the sirens, it is roots and teeth and beat. He wears a smile like sunscreen, but the sun still burns through red. And the pulses run together, every path his footsteps tread. Break into motion when the sirens ignite. Falcon eyes that drink the miles. He crawls of enters octopus, the lock gives up its guile. A gorilla hug for fury, a rhino beetle's pin, a river dolphin stitches through the dark with soul. Now hymns, part wings whisper open, gecko grip defies the wall. Wolfie is swiveled somewhere down the block, a glass will fall. Full shift steals his voice, he speaks in claw and glides. So he preloads signs and taps and blinking dots along his side. He jokes first on the comms, keeps tempo when they fear, but he counts the names he carries from the dark, dark year. When the bat came back and smiled wrong, he did not sleep much then. He learned to sit with sorrow, keeping watch for all his friends. He never hides the color green, says here I will be seen. He lets the danger aim at him to keep the others clean. In alleys where the portals spit a stranger, foe or friend, he plants his feet like forest trunks and chooses how it ends. The city's blood is traffic, the forest blood is rain. Beneath them both that older drum keeps stitching up the pain. He grins as if it is easy, though the weight is never small. And the pulses guard the circle, do not let the circle fall. Break into motion when the sirens ignite. Echo the lifeline from the roots to the light. Anchor the fragile, adapt in the fight. Shield what is living, stay human and bright. Turn flood the meadow where the future can begin. He is B.E.A.S.T, not a monster, he is kin within the skin. The red hums like a compass, drawing paths he can read. He moves like 1,000 creatures, one boy answering need. Between the mission, airports smell like citrus, salt and tin. He bends to meet a city dog, then sails to where the whales begin. He signs a grant for sanctuaries, cooks dinners for the crew, turns beets with smoke and citrus into something warm and new. The pigeons brief his mornings, the alley cats take roll. He hears the orchards whisper in the cracks between the poles. The red is not a headline, it is breath inside his hands, a hush that says remember all that lives is one bright band. He touches glass at midnight where a rescued hawk relearns. He stays until its shiver fades and patient courage burns. When panic knifes the rooftop, he takes a softer shape. A tortoise shell becomes a booth for someone else to wait. He gives his last clean towel, his jacket, then his grin. He knows the way back home is always letting others in. And when the rain line trembles, when the world forgets its thread, he runs toward the thunder with the living in his head. Break into motion when the sirens ignite.